I am on a mission to complete as much of old school RuneScape as I possibly can before I die in real life. One of those goals includes 200 million XP in every single skill. Last video I got a whole bunch of green logs in the minigame section. I finished up some content which got some new updates. I completed a Moxley Atoll, getting every drop, every combat task as well as the pet. I also finished a bunch of newly released quests and completed all tasks in Gridmaster and unlocked all of the rewards with some event points left over. So first off, why the hell am I fishing and cooking a million Karambwans in the first place? Well, I like to play the game by having two goals going at once. One for when I'm actively playing the game and one that I can go to when I just want to AFK. I figured fishing Karambwans was a good option for AFKing after finishing full gold Castle Wars armor. I get loads of fishing XP, clues, and with the fishing barrel I'm able to AFK for a good few minutes at a time. I also realized a good endpoint for Karambwan fishing would be to get enough for 200 million cooking, which would be about 980,000 of them. But I'm a YouTuber, so obviously we're gonna pump up that number to 1 million. Unfortunately, halfway through this side quest, sailing was announced along with the new combo food which just completely outclasses Karambwans. So I decided to drop what I was doing and start focusing on this goal as the price of Karambwans would surely plummet. I did end up getting a bunch of fishing pets from this grind though, and I gained another 2 since the last video. The first one I did manage to get a clip of, but unfortunately I missed the second one as RuneLight bugged out and it didn't notify me. And so now I have a total of 9 herons in the collection log so far. There isn't really much else to say about fishing though, apart from getting a ton of clue scrolls done. It's quite nice as you can stack them in the crafting guild on the floor and juggle them every hour. Although I did unfortunately lose a couple of stacks. In RuneLight, there's a timer that tracks how long they've been on the ground, but with the plugin I've been using, it doesn't really track the time spent on mobile. So when I logged back in on the PC, I thought I had about 20 minutes left, but in fact I only had like 5. It does suck to lose that many clues, but I've learned my lesson. I did also end up with a bit over 65 million XP in fishing, and I still need to finish Temperos, and I'll be going for the trawling collection logs in the future, which I imagine will bring me closer to the 100 million XP milestone eventually. Anyway, now that I've caught them all, I now need to get 200 mil cooking with them. If you didn't know, Karambwans are actually the best cooking XP in the game, because you can one tick them. If you were to try AFK cooking anglerfish, then you're going to cap out at about 330k XP an hour. And the next best method after that, being wines, are only around 500k XP an hour. If you can consistently one-tick Karambwans, it's roughly 900 to 950k XP per hour. Although I'll admit, trying to do this for over 200 hours straight is not exactly fun or easy to do. At least for me. I averaged around 800k an hour, and I did end up AFKing occasionally. On average, I was getting like 5 mil XP per day, and looking back at my total XP gained from last year to just the start of this year, it's just night and day. Despite not uploading for a long time, just know that I am always making massive progress. That said, I think to appease the YouTube algorithm and get more consistent uploads, I am going to have to be a little bit more pragmatic with what I'm working on and maybe rethink the approach. I mean, this grind in particular, whilst in my head it does seem like a really efficient use of time long term, it's just not YouTube efficient whatsoever. And I need to be way more mindful of that. Like, I can't edit or script any new videos whilst I'm locked into clicking twice every 0.6 seconds. I can't make thumbnails, and I can't put in a good effort onto a second account, which is probably why not many people choose dumb grinds like this one. And whilst it makes for a good thumbnail title and it checks off one of the skills for 200 mil all, it's probably something I should have done AFK in the future whilst working on a bunch of other videos or another account. It's a really hard balance that I'm still trying to figure out. I still need to work on maxing because of all of these stupid side quests I end up going on to. So the plan now is to rein it in as much as I can and focus on finishing all of the goals that I've already set out. I will be making an exception for temporary game modes like leagues, which is coming out soon though, as I'll need the dragon trophy from that. Last time I got 11 pets on top of the trophy because I'm working on all pets in leagues as well. But I think this year I'll just speedrun the trophy and get back to the main game goals as soon as possible. After that, it's going to be Sailing and Slayer for the max cape, and then back to TOA for the 2k completion cape. Unfortunately for me, partway through this cooking grind, Deadman mode came out. Now, unlike leagues, there isn't a direct comparison to the Dragon Trophy, which is untradeable, but there are tradable rewards, and they're fairly expensive. Plus, I'd like to say that I earn them myself rather than buying them, so despite me saying that I'd like to be more pragmatic and focus on getting videos out quicker, I did get derailed completely into playing this. Maybe I could have done a separate video for this, but to be honest, there wasn't enough to make one in my opinion. I just did a bunch of skilling to start with, killed some bosses for a small bit of gear, and then I went to as many boss breaches as possible, which is where the bulk amount of points came in. Basically, you got 1 reward point per 1 damage you did to the bosses at the breaches, and it was absolutely hectic each time. And of course there's PKs too, but I quickly worked out a decent rag setup that would get me thousands of points per day. There were 3 breaches a day, but I usually just went to 2 of them, and they lasted for about 15 minutes each. So with all of my points mostly coming from those, I really only logged into DMM like 2 hours a day. That said, I did play with some clan members, and once they got enough points, they did pass on their GP to me. I did buy some buyable skills for some extra points, and then spent the rest on a few PVM setups and destroyed some more bosses. By the end of it though, I still had loads left over, and whilst I tried offering the GP back to clan members, nobody was playing the mode anymore. So instead of it going to waste, I just gave it to some random people who looked like they were wanting to grind out the cosmetic rewards too, which I'll be showing later in the video. For now though, it's back to the Karambwans grind. Now, despite what it looks like, I'm not really into tick manipulation methods. I could never really do 3-tick granite mining or anything like that, but for some reason I do actually kind of find this fun, mostly because of the extremely high XP per hour. If you want to get a quick 99 or you want to boost your total XP up a bit, I do actually recommend this. It's actually good profit too, as we're going to see shortly. The first 99 I ever got was cooking way back in RuneScape 2. It was around 2009, and I remember a clan member recording the thing because I was on a really cheap laptop at the time. I did it all in free to play on my level 3 skiller in Edgeville, so I figured if I got 99 cooking in Edgeville surrounded by clan members, then I should do the same for my first 200 mil being cooking as well. I'll be honest, I thought there were fireworks or something for 200 million XP, or at least a dialogue box pop up, but no, just the standard clan broadcast. It's kind of underwhelming, not gonna lie, but I guess Jagex doesn't really intend for people to go for 200 mil skills, which is probably why we don't have 200 mil skill capes. Although, to be honest, now that I do have one, I do think it would be a cool addition to the game. If you ever wondered what getting XP pop-ups look like when you've truly maxed a skill, then look no further than me being an absolute idiot, cooking the last 20k or so to round off the million Karambwans stack. I really should think these goals through a little bit better, shouldn't I? Anyway, I thought it'd all be over at that point. I figured someone would want to buy a million Karambwans all at once. Maybe a collector, a content creator, maybe a mercher. But all I got were a couple of lowball offers, and in all honesty, I was just trying to dodge the GE tax. But after standing around typing out my offer on World 302 for a couple of hours like it was 2004, advertising in a few discords and sending out messages, I just gave up. I slung them all on the GE and slow sold them over a few days. I also sold off my loot tab for this video, which basically just consisted of herb runs, espori, battle staffs, and I did also max out my kingdom again too, which came with a bunch of godex. I know they're not the meta anymore, but they're a free passive and this does profit a tiny bit still. Whilst the Karambwans and the rest of the herbs were slow selling, I went to grab my DMM Cosmetics. I got over 100,000 points, which was easily enough to buy all of the rewards from this year and the last one too. And unlike leagues, most of these are one-time use consumables that let you transmog multiple items at once by using them on Nigel. There's the 2 home teleport animations, the cape fabric, which lets you transmog the Mage Arena 2 capes, the wilderness theme for the POH, which looks quite gloomy and moody, as well as the Armageddon rug. There's also the 2 weapon scrolls, which transmog the look of half a dozen different popular PK and weapons across the game. I only had a few of them, but you can also use the Annihilation scroll to transmog the Crystal Armor set, which was one of the more popular rewards. I'm gonna keep the extra leftover points for now. Maybe I'll buy a couple of extra cosmetics for a profit in a few months, or just skip most of the next DMM and just buy up the next cosmetics that come out. Now, back to the GE after a few days. I sold off some more herbs and staffs that I acquired in the meantime. I then lowered my offer a little bit for the rest of the Karambwans stack, because I did end up crashing the market temporarily, as you can imagine. After claiming the GP, I pushed my cash stack to just over 1.2 billion, the biggest cash stack I've had on the account so far. I won't be spending all of it at once, but I do know one thing that I've been keeping my eye on this past year: the Tumakan Shadow. Like I say, I want to finish off maxing, get a dragon trophy from leagues, and then it's back to full-time raiding. And I'm not going to set myself massive side quests like this again. At least for a good year or so anyway. I genuinely can't wait to use this thing at TOA and start getting purples again. Speaking of maxing though, I did of course do the sailing quest to unlock the skill, mostly so I could skip all of the early levels through Tears of Gothics and Lamps. I'll be aiming to get 99 sailing for the next main game completionist video, and I imagine I'll be grabbing a ton of collection logs and taking a look at all the completionist content that it holds. I'll be leaving Slayer as the last skill to finish off maxing. By the way, it's worth noting that I've been stacking close to 10,000 easy caskets on my old account, and I'll be maxing both at the same time and opening them as a way of celebrating. So if that sounds like something you want to see, then like the video and subscribe. As you saw from me selling off the loot tab, I did a ton of farming as usual. I even got a new PB at Hespori, being 28 seconds. I probably could have got 27 if I was prepared for it, but it was just a regular farming run and my chally went absolutely nuclear, skipping one of the plant phases. Also, last video I was on around 100 million farming XP and I managed to up that to 125 million XP. So it's not long now until it's fully finished, and there's just so many new farming spots coming into the game lately, so it's only ever going to be getting quicker by the looks of it. I did also manage to get yet another Tangleroot pet as well. Okay, well, I wasn't recording for this one. I got a farming pet at 109 million XP. Again, don't really know what to say. It's a duplicate pet. I don't really have much to say about it. I think it's my 5th one. Let's see. Yep, number 5. Just a bit over halfway now. You know, I don't actually have the Tangleroot on my old account, which has about 35 million XP. So I kind of wish I could transfer one over, but that's not how it works, unfortunately. It's that time again to take a look at the Dopamine Tab. I caught a whole bunch of Dragon Imps this time, and I mostly scouted them myself. The casket stack total is hovering around the 3,500 mark, and I'm hoping to raise the number of hard and elite stacks quite a bit during Slayer. I'm over 100 mystery boxes too, and of course I did get a few more eggs from the Kingdom Hall. I do of course have a couple of additions to the miscellaneous section if I scroll down too. I think in the future I need to rework my POH to include a bunch of these to free up some bank space, but like I said, I don't want to get too distracted from my main goals now. So, next video on screen is going to be me grabbing my 3rd dragon trophy and potentially a little bit of league pet hunting. I'd like to give a gigantic thank you to my incredibly patient channel members. At the benefactor tier, Dustis and Crimson, and at the supporter tier, Kyle Henry, Scooter McGavin 2, Tom, Siotos, and Henrik the Epic. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one.